skydiving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Making my head itchy, dude. Making my head itchy. Yeah, come on, get to the lab. Get to the lab. Okay. Just let me get this done at least first. All right. All right. Um, I forgot to tell them I was going live on there. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Doink. Oh, such a wuffy. Are you a wuffy? Yes, this is how my cats act with me. Oh, jeez. Oh, you love your daddy. Hmm? Yeah, am I gonna get kisses? Yes, I am. I got kisses. He's gonna start biting me soon. He'll start biting soon. There it is. There it is. There it is. Stop. He can't help it. He's got to do something. He's got to do something. Next, he'll probably start pawing my nose. All right. Let me get this set up a little bit, dude, because this is a reading somebody had sent. It's in the grassroots too. All right. Here it is. It's from January 20th, so it was yesterday's. But that's okay. Because we can still apply it to today if we want, if that's something we want to do. Right? It is. And we're also going to probably be reading out of Working with Others. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yay! I didn't know if you were training or not. So sometimes I feel bad that I let you know that I'm on because I know you're working and I don't want to interfere, but I have a feeling that if I did it too much, you would probably let me know. So, yeah, you're not giving up, are you? Are you? Like, nope, here's my butt. Here's my dad. Dad, look at my butt. Look at my butt. See, I got a butt, Dad. Yeah, now my nose is all itchy. I just shaved my head. So this feels really weird. And it tickles. That's why I'm laughing. All right. You're giving me chills, dude. All right. It's too cold to have chills. All right. Let's kind of get started. I thought I had therapy at 10, but it's at 2. So, yes. Huh. And, dude. All right. And now we're getting violent. He just knocked us down with his tail. Oh, the other one disappeared. I got to find it. Where did it go? There. Ooh, it was right under my foot. It was right under my foot. Let me get it. Dude, don't fucking play with it. All right. Okay. He's like a child. He knows when I can't give him shit. Yesterday, he was in the trash, right? Because I kept telling him, get out of the trash, get out of the trash. At one point, he was in the trash. I'm like, come here, come here. And he came over. Bap! Huh? We worked our lesson, didn't we? Okay, let's get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm the least popular person when it comes to this, and we don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to joke around. I'm in a good mood today. I was really tired yesterday. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. This morning, I made myself sleep an extra hour. I made myself sleep just to make sure that I had enough. So this is now that you're here. This is one that Amber sent yesterday, January 20th. I really liked it. And I meant to use it yesterday, but My brain was not working yesterday the way that it should be. Service is a beautiful word fallen upon bad days. Ooh. That the word, I think what they're saying there, and Claude McKay who said that, probably a French dude. I don't know with the last name of McKay, so maybe it was an Irish woman. I just want to, yeah, whoever they are. Thanks, Claude. A beautiful word fallen upon bad days. That means the word itself is kind of disliked, is what it means. What do you mean by sir? I don't want to give service. I don't give away whatever. Those lazy people can't go give it yet. See how? Yeah. All right. Service is really a beautiful word. Service means respect. It does. That's why I liked it so much. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that. Okay. You want to know the first thing that I do when I see a newcomer come in? I show my respect. And I tell them, not all the time. I don't always remember to tell them, but I try and let new people know that I know you came in and maybe we don't have trust, but I have a lot of respect for anybody that walks into the room, raises their hand for the first time, and says, "My name is so and so, and I'm an alcoholic," because I know how fucking hard it is to come around to that. It is the hardest part for every single one of us. They're like, "Oh, I had a hard time with a 4-step and the 5th step." No, step one is where everybody has a hard time. I didn't have a hard time with step one. Well, it took you 20 years to get here. Yeah, okay. It took a lot. Step one is the longest step because it is everything that happened before. It is the hardest one to come to the decision that even though I'm a grown person and I have a job and I'm doing all the right things, that somehow I am able to screw it all up with a substance. That's hard, man. When we serve others, we're part of the human race. We all need to help each other. Okay. And this doesn't just have to do with AA. Service it's called the Trinity, right? And it's a part of the Trinity. Trinity means three, but it needs to go in a circle. In this case, it's a triangle, right? We have recovery, service, and unity. Recovery is the 12 steps, unity is the 12 traditions, and service is service, which encompasses, make coffee, chairing meetings, 12 stepping, sponsorship, things like that. All right. And we all need to help each other. Our neighbors, we help each other. Well, I don't even know their names. I don't know their names. Okay. But we shovel each other's walks. Whoever goes out first, we just shovel each other's walks. It's just part of how we do it. Neighbors came over, gave us some cookies during Christmas, things like that. That never happened when I was fucking drinking. My neighbors didn't want anything to do with me because I was a jerk, man. Okay. But we go out of our way. When I first got sober this time, um, I knew in our apartment building that there were a lot of single moms that had to go out and I wasn't working. So when it snowed, I went and cleaned off all their cars because I was usually up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a crazy life at that point, sleeping schedule, I should say. I never told any of them. They don't need to know. I don't need to know who did it. That was the joy of it. Hey, somebody cleaned off my car. Right on. Okay. What is that going to? Well, then that person is going to go and do something nice for the next person. It's a ripple effect. And that's why it's beautiful. It is. Absolutely. Not only that, but when I do service for other people, you know what happens? I get high. Yes, I do. I get a high out of it. My whatever it's called, I can't remember. You get that shot of good stuff that makes you feel good, right? I want to say melatonin, but that's something you use to go to sleep. All right. Um, Service is a sure way to stay sober. Helping someone else stay sober helps us stay sober. Okay, not get sober, stay sober. I can't get anybody sober. I don't have that power. I couldn't even get myself sober. Okay? But to help them stay sober, oh man, this is going on, and I want to go drink. Well, let's talk about that. See, I'm helping them stay sober, and by doing that, I'm taking out some insurance for myself to stay sober also. Oh, doctor's appointments on Friday. Um, and service frees us from self will. See, when I'm listening to someone else, it helps. I tend to forget my own problems. I tend to forget what's going on with me. See, it's usually best to let my subconscious take care of this stuff. Talking about it is good, getting it off your chest. That's why we have that 10th step, right? But a lot of stuff we do on our own. But sometimes it gets a little too much and we have to reach out to other people, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody in this world just wants somebody in their life that understands. It's all anybody really wants. That may encompass a lot of things, but when it comes down to it, we just want other people around that understand us. So that way we feel like we're part of the human race. And service frees us from self-will. It teaches us about how to care for ourselves and others. It teaches us that we're worthwhile. About time, huh? Because I wasn't worthwhile. And that's a hard part, especially in relationships, discovering, hey, man, I'm not really adding anything to this relationship. That feeling of uselessness, yeah, it'll disappear if you get into service work. Absolutely, it will. Service keeps us feeling good. Yeah. And when you feel good, you do better, don't you? Yeah. Am I quiet when the topic of service comes up at meetings? If so, how can I change this? Well, go do service work. That's it's the answer, guy. But we can't just say that, can we? No. So what can you do? Well, volunteer to chair a meeting. That's going to be the best way. Volunteer to chair a meeting. If you've never chaired a meeting before, it's something you got to try. It's something that you have to try. I know in my noon meeting, I'm getting a little upset that I'm glad that you can hop onto Zoom and do your work at the same time, but I don't see them ever doing service work. What else would be service work in the meeting? Volunteer to read the daily reflections. Show up early, dear Zoom users. Get there 5 minutes early. I know I opened my room at a quarter till. And some of the grassroots people have figured that out, and they're showing up at a couple minutes after a quarter till now. Usually, I just sit there and listen to my music until somebody shows up. I sit there and dance and sing, and why not? They show up, I'm playing my music. I usually leave it on too, so that they know that I'm cool. I'm not kidding. What I do, it's okay. It's okay to admit these things. I love being the center of attention with the right people. When it's my friends and we're getting along and you appreciate what I have to say. Sometimes it's hard when my friends go against what I'm saying here. Okay. Now let me rephrase that. Came out when somebody maybe shares a different experience. Like in the beginning, I used to get a little offended. And then I remember, Dion, this whole thing so that people have a chance to share their experience that is different than your own. That was kind of one of the points. The main point you want to know the main reason I do this? For me. It's people like, you got to take care of yourself. I'm like, I take care of myself all the time. More than you know, after this, I go to therapy. Then I'm talking with my daughter. All of that is self care. I went to a meeting before this, self care. For that, I went to another meeting. There was a guy that was really worried about his DUI and going to court. So I hung out and I talked with him a little bit. So what? You know, I feel really, I have a lot of gratitude that I kind of get to do what I want. But what I want is what God's will is. See, my day's never really planned. It gets planned for me. Because when I wake up in the morning and I pray, I say, okay, God, I have a free day. What do you need from me? And then I go and then I get to work. Prayer for the day. Higher power, show me where I can be of help. Yay, Dion for the win. Dion for the win on that one. I'm gonna repeat it. People in this world only really want one thing, to be understood. And when you're terminally unique and you run into somebody else that has been there before, it's like a fucking savior, man. And they'll be great. They'll say things like, I'm so grateful you're in my life. I love ending with my meeting with my sponsees because they're always like, thank you for everything. And I'm over here because for me, I'm like, I didn't do anything. All I did was run my mouth for an hour. You were forced to listen. Okay. So you know what I say? You're welcome. And I leave it at that. Even though sometimes in my brain it's like, you don't deserve that. Well, fuck you. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. But we all know that in the end, credit's going to the higher power anyway. Right? Show me the where I can be of help. Give me the courage to make a difference. Ooh. I'm not going to say anything on that. Amber knows me well enough that I'll start talking about all the other things that I do. I'm not going. I just made a good connection. I'm proud of myself on this. I'm going to do a little bit of bragging. There's a place called All the Way Well. Okay, if you want to check them out, they're allthewaywell.org. They have great peer support. They have a great sober living. They're very structured. They're great. So what I did is, because all the money is going to be gone this year, now my resources get to come into effect, and I'm excited. Not my resources, but the relationships that I've managed to put together. And now I get to say, okay, East Metro Detox, since you're not going to hire the right kind or be strict about it, what I did is I found a place that will do it and support you. So I made an introduction, and I think it's going to work out great. Dion's not involved. Dion's just making an introduction. That's all I'm doing. Even All the Way Well was, well, what would you like to do? Is this a partnership? Is this? And I said, nope, it's just an introduction. It's all it is. You guys do good work. And so what does that mean? Well, that means that if people use their services, they will make it through the year, so that when the year is over and we come into next year, we have a great example of how it's done. Yay. Yay. It'll take a year though. It will. All right. Give me the courage to really serve others in need. Action for the day. All this 5 ways service has made or can make my life better. I don't need to do that. Sorry, I don't make, and I'm not saying don't. If it works for you, do it. Do it. But I've been making lists for so long that I already listed off the ways I could be of service. So, but it is a great action to do. And I like that one because it says action for the day. Amber, I know you've told me a million times which one that is, but when you have a chance today, I know you're very busy, will you text me which one that is, and I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna buy it. Unless somebody would like to buy it for me. Actually, I have the money for it right now. So, because I think that would be a great addition to something besides the daily reflections from AA. Because it tends to, month one. I'm so tired of talking about step one, but I'm over it. When I was in some meeting, and well, Amber, you were running it, and even you didn't want it to be on powerlessness, but it had to be. It had to be. So I said while I was talking, I'm powerless over the topic. That helps me. I know we're joking, but it helps me to think of it that way. I'm not chairing. Even the day before that, I chaired, and it was still powerlessness. I'm like, why'd I ask people for a topic? It's the first. We got a lot of newcomers right now, and there's where are we at? Okay, about a quarter of them will be gone by February, in about 10 days, when the courts and everything have settled up. Okay. The ones that got sponsors that go to meetings on a continuous basis, that share at the meetings, they're the ones that you will see stick around. See, what a great system. Those DUIs led them to a better life. I usually tend to work with people that have DUIs because I know that it's hard to go through that. I've never had one, but I know what the court system's like. All right. So now I'm going to go to chapter 7, working with others. Yeah, that's Shelly. And I miss her. Why ain't she ain't coming to my meetings? Did I tell her about them? I don't think I told her about them. Maybe I need to. We're getting a good group going there, man. I'm going to tell you, within a year, it's going to be a regular thing. Yeah, there'll be more grassroots meetings going. Okay. Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as service work or intensive work with other activities. Then they may say something very important here. It works when other activities fail. Now, I'm not going to I'm not going to cut down gratitude lists. There's sometimes I go a little too far. Okay. Now, if I'm in self-pity, a gratitude list is not for Dion is not the way to go. I'm not going to talk about myself when I'm in self-pity. What I'm going to do is remove myself from the self and go help someone else. Okay? But the key isn't to find somebody who's worse off than you, because people aren't necessarily worse off than me. Okay, we're all kind of equal in that sense, the way I see it as a spiritual malady. Okay, but that is one of the activities I hear other people using. Now, what is a gratitude list great for, in my opinion? Okay, when you first get up in the morning, I had PTSD, and it wasn't until about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. Amber, you'll remember a lot of this because they were getting bad at the end. I had nightmares every fucking night, and they were always the same thing. It was a continuing story. It was jacked up. They eventually went away, right? So I would have to wake up in the morning and think of the things I was grateful for so I could remove that bad attitude, because I didn't want to approach God with a bad attitude. Now, there were times I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be like, God, why am I still having these fucking nightmares? I have done everything you have asked me to do because it's in God's time. I did not get an answer for that. He didn't give me an answer. Well, the answer was this: keep doing the work. This is our 12th suggestion. I'm going to put that in quotations. Suggestion. I have 15 minutes till. All right. Here it is. I'm going to go to page 98. Let me read these paragraphs real quick here. Carry this message to other alcoholics. You can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence when others fail. Remember, they are very ill. They're answering a question here. Why am I an alcoholic? There's your answer. Because you can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence. What I say earlier, what does everybody in this world want? Somebody who understands. Finally, God sent me somebody that understood. They understand what I'm saying. You'll see people say it all the time in meetings. I hope that makes sense. And you'll see all the heads go, yep. They're just confirming they're not alone. So nod your head. Even if you don't understand, you empathize. You empathize. Why? Because you're an alcoholic and you have the same thought process, right? That's why I bring up intrusive thoughts often. Okay. Now it's not a hard topic for everybody to hear that comes here. Remember, they are very ill, and then the 12th step promises life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others. That's the true joy. When you've helped somebody get through the steps and then you watch them turn around and give it away, you're gonna fucking cry out of joy. Because you'll just cry because you're so freaking happy. And you're not even doing it. You're just sitting there watching. To watch loneliness vanish. Now, why is that? Why does it do that? Because did you do that? You had a part of it. You had a part in it. It takes two to tango. It takes two to heal. It takes more than two to heal. But see how it can match? Do we take credit? Nah, we don't need to anymore. I helped that person. People that say that are bragging, and no, they did not help that person. They forced advice on them, is what they did. Okay. To see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. You will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is a bright spot of our lives. It's the newcomers and the people that we meet and help in AA that helps our fellowship grow. And if you are not searching for your sponsees, I'm not saying the host of friends won't happen, but what I am saying is this: it will take a while. It'll take a lot longer. Okay. And it's okay. It's okay. Some people are ready. Who am I to judge on that? At the same time, yeah. Okay, page 98. I'm going to do one more paragraph and then we'll wrap up. It is not a matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. Tact. Gotta have tact. Okay. But what does it say? Life will take on new meaning. Okay. It isn't necessary that we remove our selfishness. I'm very, very selfish. That is not going away. That is not going to happen. Okay. What I use my selfishness for is what matters. And I'm very, very selfish about one thing, making sure that every person in my community has a chance at recovery if they want it. A real chance. A real one. That is not paid for. They already paid the price. They already paid the price to get to. If you have gotten to me, I consider myself the last house on the block. It doesn't mean you're really screwed up. What it means is God wanted you to find what it is that I'm doing. What we're doing. Let me rephrase that. What we are doing. Because I can't do this unless people show up. Okay? And if you've been watching me long enough, you'll see the difference between me sitting here talking to myself, and if just one person shows up, it changes. Can't help it. It's what happens. Isn't that a cool thing, though? That you can come on here and make an effect on how I'm doing it. See? See? Especially when they're my friends. And like, hey, Dion, it's good to see you. And it's the 5th time that day. All right. But when and how to give, that often makes the difference between failure and success. The minute we put our work on a service plane, the alcohol commences to rely upon our assistance than rather upon God. And that right there is where I have a problem with a lot of recovery coaching, because they don't understand that they have put their work on a service plane. And when that happens and money becomes involved, they tend to think they know better, and no, they don't. Okay? And then they require their assistance. Well, you got me a place to live. People always ask, do you know where I can get a job? And anymore, I'm like, no, I don't have a job. How am I going to tell you how to get a job or where to go to work? I know places where there's second chances and things like that. But I mean, fuck, you haven't even been off the hooch 5 days. I'm not going to, as a professional, I'm not comfortable recommend. I'm not going to say all that. I just say, no, I don't. Okay. Right. Because then what happens is what? Then we have a dependence. Right. I don't make my sponsees call me every day. I want to hear from them every day. They might, if something's going on, I hope that they call me. Okay. But my sponsees also know that if I'm not available or if they find somebody else that might be able to help them better than me, then what I'm going to say is fucking go for it. Do it. Because that means that my job was to help you until that person came along. So what? Who cares? See, if I'm doing that, I'm still caught in pride and all this other stuff. That's why I do not give homework on the first 3 steps because there's not any in there. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just my preference because I don't know if it's wrong or right. I ain't God. And I understand the consuming people's time. So he clamors for this, claiming he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth. Job or no job, wife or no wife, we simply do not stop drinking so long as we place dependence upon other people ahead of dependence upon God. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trust in God and clean house. Now, I do agree with what they are saying there. And I also disagree. Okay? Because I have seen plenty of people without homes, without wives, without jobs, without money, without a car, without anything gets and stays sober. I've seen it happen a lot. Okay? But I do also know something else. That if I take a person who is willing to do the work and they're homeless and I put a roof over their head, I'm going to do it anyway, by the way. I'm a housing first person, only because I've been there. Okay, maybe they're not feeling it the way I did, but I was scared. I was scared. Scared. I was scared. I've never been so scared in my fucking life than living on Skid Row. I've been in a lot of scary places. For other people, there's even scarier places like trap houses and shit, right? So what happens if I put a roof over somebody's head? Their chances go up. If the person is willing, their chances of staying sober, of getting and staying sober and becoming an effective member of society again, go up by 20%. 20 fucking percent. That's a lot. It's a lot, which is why I keep trying, but I don't think God's going to let me open any homes. I don't know that it's happening, which is why I'm finding these resources of the places doing it right. Because for me, it doesn't matter who gets credit, where the money's going, all this other stuff. I just want to know that if I'm working with somebody and I send them to you, that you're going to treat them with the same fucking respect that I am. And if you do not, then I'm going to hear about it and then you will hear from me. Right? I did it with Adams County this morning. They lied to me about pay and things like that. So I wrote the people I know and I'm like, I'm not trying to be something in your side, but this is the way I explained it was, I don't want it to happen to the next person because I feel responsible. Yes, I do. And that's me. And the person that writes the checks, the boss, they wrote me and they told me the fucking truth. Great. All right, we're done. They said they were mailing me a check. I asked for a direct deposit. But what is that? That's a human mistake. What I didn't appreciate was being lied to. Okay. And I know what Adams County wants. I know what Dr. Kelly Wassenbach, I mess up her name, and everybody else over there that have worked hard to get to their positions. And their number one thing is transparency. And what it was the system jacked up. Why didn't you just tell me that? I would have been fine with that rather than, oh, your paperwork was blurry. That I knew was a lie. Right? How do I know? Because I'm a fucking liar. That's how I know. And it's hard to argue with somebody that says that, right? I didn't know you left, Amber. All right. I have therapy in 6 minutes. So I go smoke a cigarette and come back, and I do it on my phone right now. So all right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. I love you. Peace out.